Watch Afro Club Live on NoireTV, where we spotlight the best lounges and clubs in multiple cities around the world. Hear directly from the club promoters in multiple cities in the USA and around the world. Hear from DMV promoters such as DJ Jamster, Nana, The Bucci, Kunzo, Hakeem Tay, Issa Tams, Fred, TJ, and Kenny G, plus promoters in other cities on what life is like in their clubs. As our host, JSB, takes you on a fantastic trip in lounges and clubs like Elevate, Dama, 1812 Lounge, Society, and Spectrum. Watch promoters and their events in cities like DC, DMV, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Now showing on NoireTV, channel 269 on Verizon Fios, channel 1100 on Optimum Cablevision, and on NoireTV.com on Android and iOS devices.
All I get a great cat, baby. You and I. You know you the ginger. If you know how you the cause you drop. Shit, you know go one person. Love the way you the dance, girl. I am ready. Why they can't love fire? Mommy, be cool. Let's hop in my Maserati. Baby, hop in my Maserati. I say hop in my Maserati. Hop in my Maserati. Girl, I wanna see you go down. Yeah, say me I love the way you bend body. Hop in my Maserati. Baby, hop in my Maserati. And I just wanna see you ride. Somebody needs somebody. My body needs your body. I'm gonna check out all of you. Somebody needs somebody. My body needs your body. I'm gonna check out all of you. Let me give you a butterfly. Say now you didn't mesmerize me. I'm out to show to civilize. Anywhere you go, I go follow. When I up the music, make it go low. And I go give you steady on the slow. Baby, don't tell me got ginger. Shorty, I know you like to party. I'm a touch on me. Show my body shape. Yeah, baby, come on, God. Innocent, nobody. Yeah, I'm gonna make you up. Make you happy. Up in my Maserati. Baby, up in my Maserati. I say up in my Maserati. Up in my Maserati. Girl, I wanna see you go down. Yeah, say me I love the way you get body. Up in my Maserati. Baby, up in my Maserati. And I just wanna see you ride. Somebody needs somebody. My body needs your body. I'm on check out all of you. Somebody needs somebody. My body needs your body. I'm on check out all of you. Up in my Maserati. Make you love in my Maserati. I say up in my Maserati. Up in my Maserati. Girl, I wanna see you go down. Yeah, say me I love the way you bend body. Up in my Maserati. Make you love in my Maserati. And I just wanna see you ride.
Ó sùn ó gọ̀, ó jí ó gbọpẹ́. Ọmọ tó sùn ló gọ̀, ọmọ tó jí ló gbọpẹ́. Ó sùn ó gọ̀, ó jí ó gbọpẹ́. Ẹni tó sùn ló gọ̀, ẹni tó jí ló gbọpẹ́. I can feel my face no more, I can feel my legs no more. Mo ti yó pa, mo dẹ̀ máa jó pa. I can feel my face no more, I can feel my legs no more. Mo ti yó pa, mo dẹ̀ máa jó pa. Oh yeah, mo ti dọ̀tí. Àwọn ọmọ sẹ́kẹ́bù fẹ́ máa yọ̀dí. Wọ́n fẹ́ gọ́mù bọ̀dí. Wọ́n fẹ́ yọ̀dí bí tí àti mọ̀dí. Ọmọ tó wá jó dáadáa ló máa gba dọ́là. Abẹ́rẹ́ pẹ́lẹ́ ọmọ náà bọ́là. Gbóná láti wíńtà wọ sọ́mà. Mi ò ṣe she custom, I know they border. Do not turn me to soldier, but I jet me to coda. Gotta turn me to loader. Oh yeah, shout out sound bomber. NDDC, MD Maladaku. No, yeah, don't you my cock. What you shall go? I say, oh yeah, like you walk all along, so go share it to lagoon. How? Osun Ogo. Oji Ogokpe. I'm to Sun Logo. I'm to Jill Ogokpe. Osun Ogo. Oji Ogokpe. And it was Sun Logo. And it was Jill Ogokpe. I can feel my face now. I can feel my legs no more. What's your power? What am I your power? I can feel my face no more. I can feel my legs no more. What's your power? What am I your power? Olùgbàyà Uze, Omete, ìwọ́n sùn ó ń gọ́ ó ń complain. Èmi kọrin pa wọ́n bí ti T-Pain, Wizzy ní Starboy kò kí n ṣe the weekend. Dúró tán bí ti Soldier, Bara jẹ́ bí ti Koda, Gara tán bí ti Loda. Oh yeah, shout out sound bomber. The cash is plenty, we spend it raw. She likes the wheel, Christian Dior. 247, one more with ball. She never see him before. Loading. Loading, Osun Ogo, Oji Ogokpe, I'm to Sun Logo, I'm to Jill Ogokpe. Osun Ogo, Oji Ogokpe, and it was Sun Logo, and it was Jill Ogokpe. I can feel my face no more, I can feel my legs no more. What's your power? What am I your power? I can feel my face no more, I can feel my legs no more. What's your power? Beep, what am I your power?
go a day, I'm a mock and what time they go on. Cause I pull up in the mountain jazz on. Cause I'm a kigada go. I got to come back and walk a day's on. It should be my same name walk. Past life when I walk a day go on. And I'm a book I jab on. Yeah, Fino on the highway. Here is the highway. Omaka highway. Shalom na highway. Oh, I'm no highway. To be on a highway. And a chop up whatever highway. Look on the wine me. Butife here. Okay, men. On your phone, Nadia Copia, the fade there. So, no wagon on compete. A second street, no compete. Listen on the keep on 100. Man, it's the man, it's a country. Fino on the highway. Here is the highway. Omaka highway. Shalom na highway. Oh, I'm the highway. Should be on a highway. Man, a chop up, what up, and highway. The banjo, why me? Say,
Hey everyone, welcome to Afro Club Live, now showing on NoireTV on Verizon Fios channel 269 and Optimum Cable channel 1100. Watch Afro Club Live on NoireTV, where we spotlight the best lounges and clubs in multiple cities around the world. Hear directly from the club promoters in multiple cities in the USA and around the world. Hear from DMV promoters such as DJ Jamster, Nana, The Bucci, Kunzo, Hakeem Tay, Issa Tams, Fred, TJ, and Kenny G, plus promoters in other cities on what life is like in their clubs. As our host, JSB, takes you on a fantastic trip in lounges and clubs like Elevate, Dama, 1812 Lounge, Society, and Spectrum. Watch promoters and their events in cities like DC, DMV, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Now showing on NoireTV, channel 269 on Verizon Fios, channel 1100 on Optimum Cable Vision, and on NoireTV.com on Android and iOS devices.
As an introvert, I shy away from any personal publicity, but I've put all of that aside to create a world-class brand and put my industry on the map. Personal branding is something you have to do as a business owner. It's what sets you apart from your competition. It enables you to build trust between yourself and your clients, and ultimately it gives credibility to anything that you're doing. So for me, the most difficult part of it all was actually coming out as the face of my brand, simply because I'm an introvert and it's just not something that comes to me naturally. I recharge by being very private, spending time with myself. So having my face splashed across everything I do was a very difficult decision for me to take. But ultimately it was something that I had to do, and I'm so thankful for my PR at the time for pushing me to do it. She said, if you don't promote yourself and toot your own horn, who's going to do it for you? So the major issue with personal branding that most people have, and that I struggled with at the beginning, was how do I even go about this? Is this something that I just create? Is it a make-believe character? Or, what do I actually do? There's three main things that you need to focus on: authenticity, consistency, and most importantly, transparency. Authenticity is key. If you project an act, it can only last for so long, and it's so exhausting trying to keep up with that. It's so important to be yourself through and through, and people always see through the cracks, so it's essential that you show up as you are. Consistency is another trait that you have to perfect, simply because it's important that you show up as expected and you stay true to your brand ethos. When you're not practicing what you preach, essentially you're creating distrust between yourself and your client. That will cost you your reputation and ultimately your customers. Any sort of inconsistency in your brand ethos is a major no. You need to be transparent. It's important that you're open and intentional about what you do, why you do it, and who you do it with. Success is birthed when you're surrounded by the right people, are at the right place, doing the right thing at the right time. Today I opted for a gel manicure with gold foil accents. I chose a gel manicure because it allows me to have my classic manicure but with long-lasting wear. I'm wearing a blend of Yabba Dabba Doo and Nutmeg in the Amali Cosmetics gel polish range. I chose these two colors because they represent a quietly confident, conservative and calm personality trait, as well as dependable and steady. As an introvert, I think it's natural for me to second guess any sort of business ideas or decisions that I'm about to take. And there have been three major things that have helped me be unafraid in taking business decisions and business risks. First and foremost, my family and friends. They're a fantastic sort of springboard for me. They give me very honest and open feedback and very constructive criticism too. You have to be open to that to grow effectively. Secondly, the confidence that comes from, having industry knowledge. So I always say education is so important in whatever field of business you're in. So knowing exactly what I'm doing in my industry makes it very easy for me to go with my ideas. And in this case, it was starting a Mali Cosmetics. Starting a product line is a huge risk because if people don't like it, it reflects poorly on your business. A substandard product will make people doubt the integrity of what you offer. Poor presentation in any form can easily tarnish your reputation. Experience and expertise always births an excellent product. So this isn't one of those things that a celebrity has just sat down and endorsed from a factory somewhere. Like, there's actual education and experience behind my brand. Passion would be the third and final thing. I feel like passion always overrides fear, and the moment that you have your goal in sight, it's easy to overcome those fears. The best part of establishing a personal brand is that it gives you the perfect platform to diversify as a business owner.
If there's one thing in life that I don't like feeling, it's poor. It doesn't matter if it's spiritually, emotionally, financially. And so in life, growing up in Chicago, the biggest dream for me and my boys was to either go to Miami, go to Vegas, and do it big. And now there's one way to feel poor really quickly, is doing Miami or Vegas right. But the thing is, coming from Chicago, it's cold, you don't really have like that tropical weather. So it's always been a dream of ours to go down to Miami. And so when I started looking at the prices to do Miami right, I'm not talking about cheaping out, I'm talking about doing it like celeb status, right? Like you see in the movies. I was like, yo, the way my bank account's set up, that's not gonna work. So I started looking at alternative options, right? And so what I've done in this video is I've done basically a price comparison between doing 2 weeks right in Bali, Indonesia versus Miami. And I'm gonna be breaking it down from everything from food, accommodation, activities, how much does it cost to fly from Chicago to Bali, and basically all of that combined. And not only that, breaking down different budgets, right? So are you making like 40,000 a year? Are you more in like the 80,000 a year? Or are you making maybe $250,000 and up a year and you can afford some different options? So I'm breaking that all down in this video. Come ride with your boy. I'm about to take you through Bali in a way that you've never seen before. Let's get it.
Yeah, we taking trips around the world.
Let me take the lead.
Alright, vacation, baby. Pesci, shoot 7.
Around the world, hey, word on the street, what a guan is. I heard you a single man. You know what I like, I don't know shy. You know what you need to do. Baby, Canada, I can even take you there. Maybe we go China. Let us go around the world.
So while I'm going to be talking about a 2-week adventure, I've been coming to Bali for years. If you know anything about Bali, I've been going to Canggu before they had stop signs and traffic lights. And so I've been living here up to 6 months at a time as well. So I know a few things, and I want to explain to you some of the cultural differences so you understand it. So if you're even going to like London or Europe, you pretty much have a cultural understanding of what's acceptable and what's not. In Asia, it's a little bit different. So there's just simple things that can make all the difference for you. In Asian culture, they are very like respectful. They have respect for, you know, the elders, right? Respect elders. Respect is everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in Thailand, you know, with the king. In Bali, just respect is a huge thing for the culture. And then they also have different religions, right? So you'll see things all around the city and it looks beautiful. I love looking at it. And so most people in Bali are Hindu. About 90% Hindu, 10% Muslim. And then if you go down to the islands, though, more of like the Lombok area, down in Gili Islands, they're mostly Muslim. And so there are different, you know, like I said, different cultural differences. Also, when you enter, if someone invites you to their house, take off your shoes. It's like, it doesn't even matter if, pretty much everywhere except Western culture. If you're in an African household, if you're in pretty much any Asian culture, take off your shoes when entering the home. So one of the things people like to do, no matter where they're at around the world, is have fun. And now there's certain things that are not accepted in certain cultures. So like in Muslim culture, alcohol is like really forbidden. In other cultures, like smoking weed is legal, and in other countries that it's not. And so in Asia, pretty much no drugs are allowed. Alcohol is fine, but so now if you get caught smoking weed or even doing some X in, you know, the United States or European nations, you're not gonna go to prison. It's not accepted in culture, but you're not gonna like destroy your life. Now, one thing that could completely ruin your trip and potentially your life is getting caught, you know, smoking weed or doing any type of drugs in Bali, right? And that can go for any Asian country. Doesn't matter if it's Thailand, Singapore. So just keep that in mind. Drink up, have shisha, do whatever, you know, that is legal. So just kind of be aware of that and have fun. And then, oh, actually one more thing. So on the topic of Miami, right, you'll see women, you know, going down the street in their bikinis, rollerblading, or you'll see dudes with their shirt off if they're in shape, even if they're not. That is not acceptable in Bali. Like if you're on the beach, that's cool, but don't just be rolling around town with, you know, shirtless. Anyways, man, like I said, I'm not gonna make it a lecture. Come ride around with your boy. So the whole crew is out here. Passport heavy crew was deep. We went to the Uluwatu area. We went to Canggu, and then also Gili Island. And so I'm gonna break down everything for you in this video. And now, so I'm gonna talk about Uluwatu. I haven't spent that much time in my Bali career here, but this is where, if you're a surfer, you know all about Uluwatu already. It's a legendary place on the Bukit Peninsula, right? But now, if you're not a surfer like me, I don't wanna lose my life in the water. I'm not built for them waves. I'm not even gonna pretend like I am. But one thing that I do love is, oh my God, they have some of the best views in the city. And so I stayed in this one place on top of the cliff. It wasn't directly on the water, but I saw the pictures on Airbnb and I was like, oh my God, if it's actually that epic, I'm gonna be impressed. So not only do I have this huge villa, it comes with a staff of 3, and the staff is awesome. They speak English, super friendly. I should try and learn some more Balinese words so I can be a better guest in the country. But they speak English, breakfast is included, and I mean, they have like this pool. It just overlooks like the entire city. I'm just like, where am I at? And like, how much? Like 300, I think it was like 376 bucks a night. And there are 4 huge bedrooms in there. So if you have like 4 couples, that's like 50 bucks a person. Or if you have just like 4 girls and you're taking a girls trip, like 100 bucks a night, or a guy's trip, 100 bucks a night for this place with breakfast included. And the staff of 3 stay like 9 to 5 with you. So if you need anything, you know, they take care of you. And now, how do you get around the area of Uluwatu? You can run a motorbike anywhere from like 50 to 70,000 for like a little scooter. And so here's one thing, word to the wise, make sure that you wear a helmet. I don't want to sound like a mom or a dad, but I've seen so many people like ruin their trip by ending up in the hospital, or even worse, lose their lives. And it's most of the time it's avoidable if you actually just kind of chill out a bit, enjoy your vacation. For us, we had a private driver. A driver for the whole day is like 45 bucks, about 600,000 rupiah. And so when we arrived at the airport, just straight to Uluwatu, it was about 250,000 rupiah, which is about I think about $18 or so. And so the guy had the name ready for me. I was like looking around, I was like, yo, where's the guy? And then like he was right there, took us straight to the villa. And now before I would take Uber, I'll tell you this, I love Uber, but here in Bali, they don't play that. A lot of areas, they're like, you messing with our money. Uber is not allowed. And so you can only get picked up in certain areas, but they allow you to drop off. And so that's what you can expect for driver. But we had the driver like pretty much every day. It was like 45 bucks a day. I mean, who's complaining? And so, I mean, if you're more on a budget, you're not gonna really do that. You'll be on the scooter. But when you have like that relationship with the driver, they take care of you. I mean, you feel like a superstar. And back home, you'd be like, card declined. It's not happening. And then for food, we went to this one oceanfront spot. I forgot the name of it. Beautiful place. For everyone's meal, it ended up being like 50 bucks for the 3 of us. And then, oh yeah, you'll probably have some dudes that'll come up to you playing some music, and they'll want some money. So if you don't want them to play for you, be like, oh, no, I'm okay. No, I'm okay. Oh, because they will start playing, then they'll be like, hey, can we get some money? And for me, I was like, yo, we in Bali, man. Play some music. Let the vibe. Let's vibe, bro. Let's vibe. And I gave him like 100,000, which is like, I think, $7 or so. If you're not fancy like that and you don't want to spend, $60 for, in Miami, that meal would have, oceanfront would have been probably like 200 bucks plus. But now, maybe you just want a quick bite to eat. They got this spot called Pit Stop, and we went to Pit Stop, and they have them all over the city. Pit Stop is in Uluwatu, Seminyak, and Seminyak is 24 hours a day, and Canggu is open till like midnight. And it's basically McDonald's price. I don't even remember what the exact price was, but basically McDonald's type pricing. One of my favorite things to do in a city or a country when I go is spending some time learning about the history. And there's this one spot, it was like a cultural, historical, basically Balinese history place where you can learn about the traditional dances, the traditional clothing, and just, about Bali in general. And they have this epic like statue that you can see. It was a beautiful place. And an entrance to there was about 140,000 rupiah, which is about $10. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but once you see the performances and basically everything that goes into making this place, you're like, okay, it's well worth the price of admission. So some of the best things they say in life are free and you can't pay for them. But the only thing that you need in Bali is to pay for the surfboard. So about $14 or so. And then you can ride the waves for as long as you want. And it's one of the best things that you can do. And obviously one of the best exercises. And now my favorite thing is I went to this place in Ulu. The driver took us there. And so I have this friend called Sarah. She knows literally everything about Bali. I've known Sarah since the first time that I came to Bali. She's probably about this tall, but her laugh is hilarious. She's just always laughing, and she just basically made a list of the places that we needed to go. And then she told us about this one beach. She's like, you have to go check it out. I told the driver, he took us there, and then we rolled up. So my man behind the camera right now, Mr. Anthony, it was the first time that he's seen monkeys in real life outside the zoo. He was like, oh man, you gotta be careful, man. I heard they're vicious, man. They'll tear you up. I was like, yo, chill, man. They're all right. But the thing is, they do steal phones, they steal cameras, water bottles, so watch yourself. But once we got down to the water, oh my God, this place was amazing. And they had like this little cove that you could go inside. People are just chilling out for the whole day. Cost of that, nothing. Just bring a blanket. The vibes are good. People are doing flips. If you actually want to know who did the flip, that again was the man behind the camera. But people just got their bikinis on, having a good time, going swimming. The water feels amazing. And it's one of the best things that you can do in the Uluwatu area. So I was just looking up, I was like, how much does it cost to get to Bali round trip? So I just hopped on Expedia just to check out, what are the actual prices. Going to Miami round trip in October is about 250 bucks, not bad. Now going to Bali round trip in October is about $873. So that's what I looked up. It's almost like, it's like triple the price, but the thing is it makes up in other ways. But back to Bali, right? So in Ulu, if you're not doing the villas and you're not a big group, maybe you're just rolling there with your girl. We had some friends in town and they were staying at this place called the Golden Tulip. And this place was beautiful. Like rooftop pool, beautiful rooms, nice restaurant, welcome drinks. Like when you walk in, where you can just tell a place is nice, like from the lobby. Like you can tell, like, nah, that's a bummy ass place. Now you walk in, the lobby has like this huge waterfall, and that place was like $40 or so a night. And I was like, yo, if you were a couple, that's 20 bucks a person. So like now if you're doing a villa in Miami, like the place that we had, That'd probably be, if that was Miami, about $2,000 a day. Like, no joke. Go hop on Airbnb, look up villas out there. It's about $2,000 a month. I mean, $2,000 a night for a similar type of place. And the first place that I stayed ever in Bali was this place called the Bali Dream. This place was incredible. I paid like $40 a night for the regular room because it was just myself. I was like, I don't need a big villa, right? But here's another thing though. There, if you want to experience like that villa life, you can actually do it at the Bali Dream. This is a hotel resort, but for $100 a night, it was about $100 or so, they have like this amazing private villa. Like they have this whole row, and like I think there's like 8 private villas on the property. You have like your private kitchen, you have your private pool, you have this amazing bathroom. But my favorite thing about the Bali Dream is not even the villas, it's the massages. When you roll up to the Bali Dream, for me, half of a massage is like the environment. These rooms here, they've got like the nice bed. If you're doing like couples massage, they have like this bathtub, they have nice showers. Yo, this is life. And like a whole hour massage, like I'm probably getting it wrong, but it's like 25 bucks, maybe 20 bucks. My favorite place in Bali is Canggu by far. Now, they don't have the best beaches, they don't have the best views. You'd be like, Jabril, why do you go there? For the community and the vibes. This is where I live, and it's probably the best place for expats. They have a community there. And then also you have like the local culture, you know, so local people are there. And it's like a nice mix between the two. Cost of living is good there. Like I said, I've been coming here since there wasn't stop signs and traffic lights. And so let's talk about accommodations. My favorite villa that I've ever stayed in my entire life was here in Canggu. So we rolled up, the Airbnb pictures, they looked amazing, but when I rolled up, let me tell you, the pictures did not do this place justice. Like you have 24-hour security, you have like housekeepers, you have chefs, you can order food pretty much like any time of day. Like they're there from like 9 o'clock in the morning till like 6 o'clock at night. Breakfast is included. If you want massages at the house, like anything that you want. And now the design of the house is something out of like a movie set. I felt like I was on a movie set. I could go on and on about this place. And now here's the kicker. It was only $288 a night. Now I'm not saying $288 a night is cheap, but yo, 3 couples, that's $100 a night. Here you have a whole villa with a whole staff included, and it's like 5-star service. And now let's talk about food. There are so many different restaurants options available. They have a place called Crates where you can roll up, really cool, like $7 you can get breakfast, or if you're going there for lunch, a real cool spot. But now, I want to talk about if you've grown. I wouldn't be really, I feel underdressed when I went to the lawn dressed like this. Here's like you're grown up, it's sexy. It's like, hey, I dress nice, the vibe is nice, it's a family atmosphere. Hey, and I was like, this is so nice, let me buy a bottle of Moe. And it was like 1.2 million rupees, which was about 90 bucks. Sometimes I like to I was like, hey, it's just one of those vibes, it's just sexy and it's grown. Now, if you want to step it up a bit, about 20 minutes away in a place called Seminyak is literally best beach club that I've probably been to in my life. And this place is called Potato Head. It's not to be missed. Yes, it's as touristy as it gets, but the view when you walk up, like the scenery, the decor, everything about this place is amazing. When you leave there, you're like, yo, when are we going back? And now the prices, you can get like a pitcher of a cocktail. I think it's like 50 bucks or so. The food's affordable, like 10 bucks a plate. If you want to pop a bottle of Moe, I think there it was like 1.4 million rupees, so about a little over 100 bucks. And it's like, yo, like the sunsets, it's criminal. If you go there and don't experience sunset, you're doing something wrong. You have like the day beds, the pools, and then the beach right out in front. We met some friends, and then Fua was just running around, like, you know, he's got like the 8-pack, and then he met some girls, they're like, ooh, how you doing, Fufu, Mr. Abnormal Fitness, hey, hey. And then they're like, I was like, yo, you might as well just run along the beach, get some good footage, and then you just see him running along the beach. Yo, it's always a party when Fufu's around. And so getting around town in Canggu, me and my brother, we like the dirt bikes, we like the Ninjas, we like the custom motorbikes, and those go for, if you're doing it daily, it's about 200,000 rupiah. But now if you want to, most people get around on like the little scooters, right? They get a little surf rack. Those go for about 50,000 rupiah a day. And if you do it a month, it works out to like even 20,000 rupiah a day. Like really, really good price. I'm gonna transition into the place with the best water in like pretty much Indonesia, and that's in the Gili Islands, the Lombok area. Unfortunately now, When we rolled up, it was we took this boat there. I forgot the price of the boat. Basically, it's 3 hours from Canggu or anywhere on the island. Pretty much, it takes a while to get there because you take like an hour or hour and a half coach or basically a little van, and then you roll up there, and then you take a ferry for like another hour and a half. And every time I've been there before, the weather has been perfect. This time, it was raining cats and dogs. Check the weather before you go, because if you're like us, it rained like the majority of the time that we're there. Every other time, the weather's been perfect. And everything on the island is based around the water. Going yachting, scuba diving, snorkeling, everything is water-based. It looked so depressing. I felt so bad for everyone because some people, it was like their first time. And I was like, no, this is not what it's like. The good thing is we had this dope villa. And the colors of this villa was like out of a movie, and it had 4 bedrooms. It wasn't 4 real bedrooms, it was like 2 real bedrooms upstairs, and then downstairs they had, because it was like identical places, and they had 2, basically it was like a living room / bedroom studio downstairs. But I can't recommend, that place enough. The vibes were good, the staffs were good, and we rolled up at this place called The Exile. The vibes were good. It's just like island life. They got the drinks that are flowing, they got the food, and then the best part is like the swings in the water. If you've seen Instagram and you see like that picture, this is pretty much it. But this place is like picture perfect. When the sun's out, you cannot, I promise you cannot do anything better than this. This is what Gili Islands is about. You have like literally horses riding by, and the energy there when the sun's out, everyone's just as happy as can be. You can't ask for much more. The best thing about the Gili Islands is the vibe. It's island life all day. Things to be aware of. It's a small island. You can literally walk around the whole island in a little over an hour. So things like the internet goes out. Water's not always consistent. So be aware of that. You will see insects. You will see ants. You will see all types of animals that you've probably not seen before. And so party life on the island is crazy. Nightlife for days. Restaurants. You got to go to like the thing is called the Roast House. They have the best chicken on the island. It was so good when we rolled up, they only had 1 chicken left. I was like, yo, what's going on? I know the chicken's good, but 1 chicken. But they had a bunch of other food. Vibes were good there. But in closing, Bali is just one of those places I recommend. Like, I'm going back myself for 3 months. I highly recommend it. And so one of the things that I've done is because people always have a bunch of questions. So I have like the links to the Airbnbs. Those are in the description. To pretty much like some of the restaurants that we went to. But we made a whole guide with everything. And you'll see a link in the description where you can download it. And so it's an extensive guide. So you'll see here, right? You've got like the accommodations, you've got restaurants, you've got pretty much everything that you need. And then on top of that, right? Bali is great, but we have literally about 100 different videos to drop from here in Thailand, Bali, Europe, all over the world, and we'll be dropping them passport heavy style. And I gotta say, give a big shout out to everyone involved in this project. My man behind the holding it down. We had Maria organizing everything. And then the girls, they came through and really put it down. And if you're seeing any of the new pictures on Instagram, Megan the Extraordinaire, most people think she's a model. I was like, no, she's a photographer. But anyways, man, I've had so much fun. If you have any more questions, leave comments. And man, I appreciate y'all just tuning in today. I know this was a long video, but I wanted to clue you up on everything that you need to do in Bali. I'm out of here. I appreciate you. Take care.
There's nothing glamorous or relaxing about running a beauty business, contrary to what everyone thinks. There's so much your degree doesn't prepare you for. I opened my doors in March of 2011, and I think it had to be the most exciting, the most stressful, the most gut-wrenching feeling all in one. exciting in the sense that it was a dream come true. I was finally getting a chance to do something that I really had always wanted to. Stressful in the sense that I didn't know how many people would show up. I didn't know if anybody would show up. Gut-wrenching also in the sense that, oh, this is a completely new terrain. Am I going to succeed? Is this going to work or not? So I had been in business for all of 10 months. I would say I was just about finding my feet, finding my balance. And essentially it was one horrific night. I was getting ready to go home. This must have been around 8 or 9 p.m., so it wasn't too late. And I had just gotten into my car, but thankfully my instincts, as soon as I get into the car, is to lock the door even before I put my seatbelt on or anything. So I just gotten into the car, pressed the lock, looked up, and literally there were about 4 men surrounding my car. And I'm paralyzed with fear, obviously. It was, one guy on one end jolting, pulling at the door, somebody else punching my windows, and the other 2 guys trying to get into the back of the car. So, yeah, naturally I was paralyzed with fear, and it took one of my staff who was still at work at the time to literally keep yelling at me, like, oh madam, start the car, like, just if you drive, they'll fall away. And at some point I think one guy was actually even on the bonnet of the car, like punching the window. And it took me all about, I don't know, it felt like forever, but I'm sure it was a matter of seconds. I finally started the car and just revved in reverse and drove home. I essentially had, I still don't know what it was. I mean, it was an attack of some sort. I don't know where it was coming from or why, because there were still people around. And the funniest part of it all was that nobody helped. People were just looking. And that was my first experience. I think I had insomnia for like a year or 2 after that. I still don't know, I still can't explain why it happened. But yeah, that was a turning point for me, definitely. Yeah, after that incident, I think I stayed away from work for a few weeks. I remember having conversations with my family about how I'm just not doing this anymore. It was just so much of a shock. And I remember my mom, all her wisdom, just saying, you know what, this isn't the time for you to give up. Maybe that was the aim, to rattle you and get you to just call it quits. So this might be a good time for you to go back to the drawing board, re-strategize, and decide on what you want to do. So it was essentially a time of a lot of reflection, despite the fear and lack of sleep. I went back to the drawing board and I thought, okay, maybe this is a time to grow. Maybe this is a time to find a standalone space where you can control your own security. And maybe also introduce new services, go big or go home, essentially. So for me, it was now time to show that this business is actually capable of being successful. And that, I can do nails really well, but I can also do skincare really well. I can also do hair care really well. So I set out to find a space that would essentially be a one-stop shop. I think at the time I also had yoga going on, so there was a bit of like fitness to the wellness as well. And essentially it was now capitalizing on the fact that people were looking for a place where they could do all of their maintenance and grooming, mind, body and soul, as it were. There will always be, a sense of danger and adversity, and in that time, rather than running away or questioning whether you should be chasing your dreams, it's the time to not give up, but reflect, go back to the drawing board, come up with a plan that scares you, essentially. So if it doesn't scare you, you shouldn't be doing it. Chances are, if you're playing it safe, what makes you different to anybody else? I mean, I think the key thing is, as a business owner, you have to ask yourself, is this my core passion? Passion is what will drive you and keep you going in the midst of any storm. Resilience is a personal character trait that every business owner needs to build, because tough times are everywhere. I mean, we're currently in tough times. These are the times that you have to sit back and innovate, essentially. And also, I guess, if you know that you have a business that's capable of being successful, that's a good motivating factor. The viability of your business will definitely make it worth fighting for. Finger Foods is my most ambitious project yet because there are so many elements that needed to be balanced delicately to bring it all together. I'm pleased to say that I've actually come out stronger, a lot bolder, and a lot more ambitious in achieving my dreams. Come up with a plan that scares you, essentially. So if it doesn't scare you, you shouldn't be doing it. Oh, this is a completely new terrain. Am I going to succeed? Is this going to work or not? In sharing my life lessons and business tips, I want authentic and relatable. Finger Foods brings the underrepresented nail care industry into the spotlight. This is something I've always been passionate about. So today I'm wearing NoireTV, and it's essentially a blend of red but with deep purple undertones. I've gone with NoireTV because it's a color that represents power, ambition, and wealth. So as the color connotes sophistication, I decided to go with a simple and classic manicure. With this look, it was essentially just filing my nails, pushing back my cuticles, a base coat, 2 coats of nail polish and a top coat, and then some cuticle oil just to moisturize. The classic manicure is definitely a signature look because it's easy to maintain. There's no frills, no fluff, it's straight to the point, and it really does help to maintain the health of your natural nail. In the same way that food enriches you in a vital way, my hope is that you get lessons that add tangible value. By extension, this project is also about encouraging and supporting the ambitions of others. Entrepreneurs in any field can take something away from this. More than anything, I love that I have an opportunity to uplift and celebrate local businesses. In general, but especially with this series, I make it a point to showcase some of my favorite Nigerian brands. Special thanks to Ronald VII for my makeup and Manosia Official for my dress.
Life has been tough. We queue to get the small food we are sharing. Sometimes the food has fly in it. People keep pushing us when we are in the queue. The mosquito bites us in the night. I just want to go home, but just people, them pound our
Touch your life to be. Touch your life to be. Try to touch your life to be. Touch your life to be.
This evening we're here for the Egazim event. It's a charity event. It is to support what Tubaba is doing with his foundation.
What's up, beautiful people? They call me SLK, and I'm right here for Ear Garden.
For history, them say one tree can never make a forest. I say come be so.
This initiative is a very great one. It's a very fantastic one. You know, it gives me great joy to see people that want to give back to the society or to the community that's giving back to them. So Two-Face is ready to give back in all he has received, and it's a very great initiative, and I'm so proud of it.
All we need is one love. This one love. All we need is one heart, one heart. Touch your life today.
No, how can I sing in the presence of Two-Face? I'm not singing tonight. Yeah, if I'm going to do anything, I'll just fool around on the mic and tell him congratulations. I'm very proud of what he's doing.
Baba has been somebody who has his roots connected to his heart. And by that, I mean he's always been very concerned about the downtrodden, and he has always tried everything in his power to see how he can always bring positive changes to people who need them.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're here today beyond the music, the ambience, and the laughter. We're here to support projects in OAU and also support the children's project. What's the other project called? The empowerment project to help young youths develop creative marketing skills.
Every time I go outside and I see the things outside, that's like one of my best love songs. And to Baba, respect, amazing writing, amazing melody.
Catch the best of Afrobeat content here on NoireTV. I won't chop my mouth because I'm catering for you guys so that you get the latest of the Afrobeat content. Go here, best NoireTV.
Touch your life. It no matter what you get, try to touch your life.
What I think about is I think that everybody who has the kind of reputation that Two-Face has should emulate this. I mean, I think Nigeria will be a better country. I think Africa will be a better continent. I think the world would be a better.
A gala as a fundraiser for a good cause that he will be announcing in the bit. I definitely will leave that to him, to unveil himself. But here now we are here. We've reached out to our friends, our colleagues, our partners. They're here, and we're going to have a real good time. One of probably my favorite events because the music is always fantastic. The ambience, the people, and all of that always good. So we're looking forward to a great time. Thank you.
I see the sun in the sky, but it's an illusion. I'm feeling so high, yeah, from all the stress and the madness of today. My brother, it pain me, but what can I say? I say na solution, not total corruption in every nation, yeah. I feel like wailing, but my voice they fail me, and now it's got me going crazy, and now it's got me wishing